Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Show, Style, and Spirit. I am Ebony, and I want to give my opinion on accusations that have been made against NBA star and coach, who is now on leave, Chauncey Billups, and others. They have been arrested and charged with being involved in an illegal gambling scheme with organized crime, the mafia. It was so shocking. So before we get into the details, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video as well as subscribe to the channel. And everything that I'm saying in this video is alleged and just my opinion. And the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on a news report, it is allowed. Okay, so I'm sure you've read the headlines. You may have even read up on this story involving NBA former player and coach Chauncey Billups and others being involved in this illegal gambling scheme. It involves high technology, and Chauncey Billups was kind of like the face of the game to get people to trust it and want to play. So I'm going to play a news clip from ABC News and I want to give my commentary. I'm also going to share some information verbally myself, some details regarding the case. And it's a lazy Saturday for me. I have my locks wrapped up in a scarf, and then my lock sock is on top. So that's why I am not on camera during this video. But let's go ahead and play this video. I'm going to mute my mic so that you all do not experience an echo. Thank you.
New reaction to the gambling scandal rocking the NBA.
I'm ashamed that those guys will put their families and their careers in jeopardy.
Chauncey Billups, a Hall of Fame player and current coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, and Terry Rozier of the Miami Heat, both seen leaving court. They're among more than 30 people arrested, accused of running schemes that made millions by allegedly rigging sports bets and poker games. Billups and another former player, Damon Jones, are accused of working with the mafia, using their celebrity status to lure wealthy people to illegal poker games that were rigged.
Everybody else at the poker game, from the dealer to the players, including the face cards, were in on the scam.
The technology allegedly used in the scheme is like something out of Mission Impossible. The FBI says the suspects used special glasses and contact lenses that could read invisible markings on cards. Casino security expert Sal Piasante showed us some of the technology.
I can't tell you what that top card is, but if I pop in contact lenses, or if I'm wearing my poker glasses, when you look at that card through that filter, you'll see what that card is.
The FBI says the suspects also used card shufflers that were rigged and used what's described as an X-ray poker table that allowed them to see face-down cards through the felt on the table. They also allegedly used what's known as an analyzer. It looks like a cell phone, but when placed in front of a deck of cards, it uses a hidden camera to determine which player will win, no matter how well the deck is shuffled.
This deck is marked invisibly on the side with a barcode. So when this deck gets shuffled and gets placed onto the table, this camera right now is scanning those cards, and it's going to tell you automatically who's going to win.
The device correctly predicting the hand closest to the device will win.
And you win with a full house, 3s and 5s.
Experts say the sophisticated scheme shows that the mafia has modernized.
Everyone talks about the mafia getting smaller, going away. Mafia doesn't go away. They will change based upon the law and how they can make money.
In a separate indictment, Rozier was charged in connection with an illegal sports gambling scheme.
Terry Rozier, right foot discomfort, doubtful to return.
Prosecutors say during this game in 2023, Rozier, then with the Hornets, tipped off bettors that he would fake an injury and exit the game. Bettors placed more than $200,000 on him to underperform in the game.
The proceeds were later delivered to his home, where the group counted their cash.
Rozier and Billups deny the allegations, their lawyers vowing to fight in court. With both men making millions in salary with their teams, many are wondering what would have been their motive to get involved in such a scheme.
How much more do you need? Especially if you know you get caught, you can do jail time, lose your career. Put a bad image on yourself or your family.
We have to realize gambling is an addiction. So the addiction of it is what makes you make illogical decisions.
Ain't got nothing to do with addiction. That's just total stupidity on these two dudes' parts.
Now, the NBA previously investigated Rozier for that 2023 incident, but cleared him. Now, the league says it is cooperating with this investigation. As for Damon Jones, he has not responded to the allegations.
Okay, so I believe another story will start now. It's much longer, so I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic. It's about or mute there, or pause that video. It's about a 6-minute video, but so this story, it is quite interesting. Of course, I made some notes. I also asked Google, what exactly is Chauncey Billups accused of, to get some bullet points. So according to Google's AI, on October 23rd, Chauncey Billups was one of more than 30 people arrested by the FBI as part of an investigation into illegal gambling rings involving organized crime. Chauncey is specifically charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud and money laundering in connection with the high-tech illegal poker scheme. And what I love about that ABC news package, it was just 3 minutes long. It showed how the deck of cards has an invisible barcode that can be read by a secret camera on a device that looks like a cell phone. So then the person who works for the casino or the gambling organization, they know who's going to win. And prosecutors, they are alleging that Chauncey Billups and former NBA player Damon Jones were used as face cards, kind of like the face of the whole scheme, well-known figures who would make the game seem credible. Now, the indictment states that the scheme used fraudulent card shufflers and x-ray tables to cheat players out of millions of dollars. All right, so this story, I just find it to be incredible. The reason why it's incredible to me is because the people involved, at least the NBA players, they are millionaires. They've made millions of dollars. I remember Chauncey Billups playing for the Detroit Pistons in the early 2000s. And he was a part of the team with Rip Hamilton and Rashid. It was great times. And Tayshaun Prince. It was just a great time in Detroit. Detroit basketball, those are my memories. And then he's gone on to be a coach. So unless he has just totally squandered all of his NBA earnings, one would assume that he has some money saved up, that perhaps his home is paid off. So I have so many questions. This story, to me, in my opinion, it speaks to the mental and emotional state of these public figures who are involved. And again, I pose the question, did Chauncey Billups have financial troubles? Is this why he would have been like the face of it all? I would imagine he did that for money. And if he did it, allegedly, and how does this satisfy him if it's not financial? If he has not squandered all of his NBA earnings, if coaching pays the bills, what does he get out of this? For some people, I think that there is like a satisfaction, a gratification over doing something that they know that they're not supposed to do. And the whole not getting caught. I think that could be like a high for some people. And then also I had the thought, no matter how successful a person is, no matter how successful they are, they could still end up doing something. They could still get caught up. We see it in politicians. I feel like personally for a lot of people, sex gets folks caught up. I don't know what it is, where they just have a strong weakness to make really poor decisions regarding that. Some people are very daring, and I think that it makes them feel powerful to do things that they know are illegal, that they know they could get in trouble. And again, it goes back to that high. Now, one takeaway from that ABC News report, NBA player Terry Rozier accused of faking an injury in a specific game, and he let gamblers in on his plan so that they made bets that he would underperform, and then they made the money. I think that that is crazy. So we have to see how this story unfolds. I know whenever you hear the letters FBI, those alphabet boys, you automatically assume that it's downhill for those accused and charged, because it's been said that the FBI, they have a conviction rate that's between 85 and 90%. So I also looked into the FBI on Google. I simply Googled the FBI wins 90% of its cases. And when I Googled that to see how the AI would react, it says that there's several factors that involve the FBI's conviction rate. And a lot of it comes from plea bargains. So it says that plea bargains are the norm and that the cases are meticulously selected. So I guess before the FBI spends money and time, and a lot of time, into an investigation, I guess they really decide which ones that they're actually going to take on. So we definitely have to see how this plays out. Of course, every single person is innocent until proven guilty. Let me know in the comments, do you think that there's any credibility to Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier and others being involved? Do you think that it's a matter of just feeling like you're a millionaire, you're famous, you're not going to ever be punished for doing anything wrong? Do you really think that it's on that level, like a mental high of some sorts? Now, the angle involving the mafia, when I think of like a celebrity, a public figure getting caught up in something with the mafia, then I kind of wonder, were they forced into it? Were they coerced on some sort of level? Was something discovered about them that could really embarrass them or end their career, and then the mafia forces them to get involved? That is a thought that I do have, because it's one thing to do something illegal, and then it's another thing for you to be involved in something illegal with organized crime, in my opinion. So knowing that the organized crime units allegedly are involved, does that change things up for you in terms of your thought process with these former NBA players being involved? Let me know in the comments. I thank you all so much for checking out this video. Please hit the like button on this video, as well as subscribe to the channel. And I will talk with you all soon. Bye.